All right. So are we live? We are. Great. So let's build a bit. So is there anyone watching? Yes, there are. Hi everyone. I'm just updating socials and stuff before I go and continue building. So let's see. So I'm just still updating all my stream, all my socials, and then I'll start building. Hi Nix, welcome. Just give me one more minute and all right. So, basically what needs to be done is I need to fix some of the issues with this exhibit. Previously we had this fence, and after watching the Animal Kingdom episode on the Nile crocodiles, I realized that the saltwater crocodile exhibit wasn't really doing it, wasn't really working. So yeah, I've been updating the entire exhibit for these guys. We now have a pathway system all along the exhibit. We have ways to open and close. There's a way to open this exhibit and to make sure that we can actually breed these animals. So yeah, but there's still a lot of boring work that needs to be done. I need to replace all the fencing. I need to add climbing barriers. Those are custom made. So yeah, that's what I need to do. Great. I'm glad you're enjoying Bronation. It's personally my favorite community I've been in, and I've been in the ZWED community for so long. So yeah. Are you going to make the zoo immersive? What do you mean specifically? Are you talking about like making it as realistic as possible, or something else? Because that is indeed the goal. We are trying to make it as realistic as possible. And so far, I can't say that I've always... Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's a very good question. Some of the habitats will most certainly be more naturalistic, while other ones will be more of the classic Asian-styled habitats. And with that, I'm referring to how certain Asian zoos are today. So it's going to be a balancing act between older exhibits and newer exhibits, pretty much like you have in any zoo. So yeah. Oh yeah, I know the zoos. I thought you were talking about immersive as in making the zoo itself as realistic as possible compared to real life. So yeah. But yeah, there's going to be very high class exhibits, and there's going to be exhibits like these that are a bit less, that aren't the super high class exhibits. They're going to be exhibits that are like this. So like it's going to be a mixed bunch, because that's essentially what you get with zoos that are pretty old. Hey Phineas, welcome. I'm trying to navigate in a way that you don't see the massive new building that I've been working on, because it's totally not finished at all. So I can't show that. Oh yeah, yeah. First of all, ZooChat is one of the best resources you can have when trying to make a zoo, and Paradisa is. There's a reason why I keep talking about it. It's one of my favorite zoos, and it has so many things that that are just downright amazing. So yeah. I've only been to Paradisa like, I think I've only been there like 4 or 5 times now, which is less than I would like, to be honest. But I had planned to go there this year, but we weren't able to because of COVID. And yeah. So for those who are wondering why I'm adding climbing proof fencing for crocodiles, yeah, crocodiles can climb, especially chain link. If you look up videos, you will find them quite easily, and it's really funny to see it. So yeah, I'm trying to make it a little bit more realistic here. Paradisa has a massive budget. Like, I don't know how they do it. They, okay, yeah, sure. Climb on it, I guess. Yeah, Paradisa is, it's not, it looks bigger than it is, but it's still a massive zoo. I do think that like zoos like Animal Kingdom and San Diego Zoo, I think those are even bigger still. But yeah, Paradisa is one of the most amazing zoos in the world, to be honest. And I like it much more than like our most famous zoo, which is the zoo in Antwerp, which has improved a lot recently in the past few years. But yeah, for me, the zoo of Antwerp has always been like, oh, we are the zoo of Belgium, and they've like banked on it for way too long. Well, in reality, other zoos are getting better. The Chinese restaurant is amazing. I've been there. It's the thing about Paradisa is also that like the owner of Paradisa wants things to be like as authentic as possible, and especially in the Chinese area, you can really see all the effort they put into it. Like the Asian areas of the zoo are super good. The big temple area with like the orangutan is also amazing. And it is built with like people from, I think it's built with people from Indonesia, with stones and techniques and materials from that area. So like everything is done with so much care and so much attention to detail. It's insane. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. Paradisa is the zoo I would make if I had the same budget Are you kidding? No. Why? Why did they? Okay. Never mind. Never mind. I am not going to be annoyed by that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're from South Africa, right? Yeah. I actually do hope to one day visit like zoos outside of Europe, because now I have, especially with this zoo that I've been building here, I've noticed how much I have a very Eurocentric view on zoos, and I kind of want to broaden my horizon a bit and learn about zoos in other countries, which is also the main reason why so much of Tharmachati was deleted in the previous episode. Lemurs, I am not sure. We have everything planned out so far, and there are not really lemurs planned at this point in time, but I'm not saying no. Like, originally we didn't have the Galapagos tortoise planned either. So things can still change. We are not married to the idea, to all the ideas that we have, but like a lot of it has already been planned. A lot of it is already mapped out. So most of the zoo has already been claimed for specific areas. For savanna exhibits, well, one of the most logical differences is that they tend to have exhibits that are much more lush, simply because of the environment. Like I have some screenshots on our Pinterest board of a elephant exhibit for juvenile elephants, and like we are used to seeing super barren elephant exhibits, and they had an elephant exhibit with like tons of grass and tons of bushes and stuff like that. So that's one of the main differences. Like plants can grow much more easily than they do over here. So yeah, it was a massive shock for me when I first saw that exhibit, because I was like, oh, that's possible. And yeah, I think one of the reasons is also because elephants and Asian zoos are much more, I don't want to say trained, but they have a lot more human interaction. So they are less bored. So they don't feel the need to destroy things in their exhibit like they do in our zoos. Yeah, the Koali Zoo Savannah. I'm gonna be honest here. We didn't do much research on Asian zoos when we were working on Koali. Like, if you look at Koali and if you do the research on ZooChat and see and compare the zoos in Asia, compare them to Koali, Koali is on an entire different level. That just isn't matched with most of the Asian zoos on ZooChat. So I don't think Koali is supposed to be an exact representation of what Asian zoos have to look like. Thank you, Charlotte. I'm doing my best to make it look amazing. Are there going to be any savanna Animals. It's a difficult question to answer, to be honest. There won't be a classical savanna. We've got our reasons for that. I think, yeah, you'll see it once it's done. Because one of the things that I like doing the most when I'm building my own zoos is creating habitats and areas and zones that are a twist on the classics. So, yeah, so you'll see. There will be a savanna area, but it might not be what you're expecting it to be. Koali Zoo is more like a zoo in Indonesia than an Indonesian zoo. Yeah, Koali Zoo is more on the level of Singapore Zoo. But Singapore Zoo is more of an exception among Asian zoos. Especially, I'm basing everything I say on the zoos that I've looked at in Zoo Chat, of course. So I can't make all the... So a lot of it is just based on pictures. I haven't been to many. I haven't been to a single Asian zoo. But I've talked to people who have been there and they said the same. Can you tell us which areas are going to be high class and which are lower? Yeah, so quite simply, anything behind this channel will be part of the old zoo. So that will be you'll notice that area will be older than the rest of the zoo, because that's quite obvious. Everything from here on out will be more high class, because it will be much more modern, with the orangutan temple and the elephant paddocks being the oldest of the new area, if that makes any sense. Thank you. I don't recall precisely where I got it from. There was a zoo somewhere in Asia again that had these islands, and I really, really like it. Yeah, you're pretty much on time. Yeah, I'm gonna stream for like an hour or so. So yeah. Okay, so back to the boring work again, but it has to be done. And that's, I mentioned it on my Twitter, and I think that's the best tip I can give anyone who likes building. Don't be afraid to basically start over. I mean, yeah, start over. Not everything is going to be great the first time you build it, so just allow yourself to make multiple drafts of something. Like if you would see all the buildings that we did for the Sumatra area, for Koali, we have a bunch of concepts that were never used, and we're probably going to show them in one of the next Koali files, just so you get an idea of, like, we scrap a lot of things for various reasons. Sometimes it's because it doesn't work, or because we have a better idea of, or that, yeah. Or like with everything, like, our skills get better after a while. I've noticed it with the more I did for Koali. I noticed that I think I got better at building zoos. So that was one of the main reasons as well why I decided to throw away so much I made for Tharmachati. Because I noticed that I was getting better and I could do things better. Even with this, I mean, when I first did this like a few months ago, I was really proud of it, and now I'm much more happy with this. Realism is indeed hard. it's one thing that we also said, like in the koali files, was that when you make a design that you really, really like, sometimes the animals don't agree with your design, so, or reality doesn't agree with your design, so you need to fix it, or you need to change it. And yeah, making things realistic surely is really hard, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun as well, I guess, from some people. For me it is. For me it is. One thing that I wanted to do and I forgot. This is also something that I like doing. Just like one broken piece that is just hanging there. Yes, they are supposed to be, I forgot the name. Give me a second. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I might just put it in the chat. But I saw this plant and this kind of structure in one of the... It's a water hyacinth. I hope that I pronounced that correctly. I have no idea. And I saw that in one of the references that I used, and I really, really like that. But that type of plant isn't available in the game, and we didn't feel like making it using gutter caps. So, yeah, we used these instead. And it spruces up the area a bit. Yeah, I mean, making something that was making sure that's something that is done in actual zoo building as well. I have a book about zoo designs and designing exhibits, and the first draft always starts with something that is super, super fancy and super cool. And then you start making the actual exhibit for the animal, and things change. There is chain link where there wasn't in the design, stuff like that. Yeah. Yes, there is an... Oh, cool. Cool, Logan. I didn't know that. Yes, there is an entrance for this zoo. I will show you now. So this is the entrance to this is the entrance to Tharmachati, and then we have the entrance to the resort on our right and the entrance to the zoo on our left. And I use a technique by Tovs, so guests will come over here, will bump against the tickets, and will... Here. So here's the ticket booth, as you were just about to ask. So guests will come here, they will bump against the ticket booth, but because the path doesn't go straight through, they will just go and follow the path along to the nearest exhibit or animal. Yeah, the water is tricky, to say the least. Like, one thing that I would really like is to be able to control the murkiness of the water without it going like this. I would love to be able to do just this and just say, okay, lake cleanliness on this level, So it's a little bit more murky, but not entirely murky. But yeah, after a while it will turn back and it will become very dirty again. So yeah, doesn't really matter that much. But all right. Can you have a sneak peek? Sure. I'm just gonna build here for a while because I do need to finish this, and remind me in like a half hour and I will show you. There's not much in the Samson house right now, given that there's going to be a DLC this year, at the end of the year. I am kinda hesitant to start big new areas because part of the reason why the Samson house interior also got deleted was because that one was built before the Australian update and like right after the South American update, which means that a lot of new techniques that we learned from the South American update weren't included yet, and nothing from the Australian update was included, so yeah. See, this is super boring and super tedious work, but no. Yeah, yes, anteaters will be in the zoo. Yep. There will be a South American area, I can promise you that. That will certainly be there. Why does this change? Okay, this is an issue that I'm going to... Thank you. Stay safe as well. Yeah, about fake animals. How do I put it? It's not that I don't like that I don't appreciate the effort and the skill that goes into making those. Lord knows I know what that takes because I made those masks for the gift shop. But as a Zutakun 2 player who never liked static animals, I really don't like using fake animals. I want my animals to be... I want my animals to move around, even if it's just a sloth that basically doesn't move much at all. I still want my animals to move. So I really love all the work that like both Weiser and Drag have done. I really do. This is in no way saying that what they've done is bad, but it just isn't for me. I prefer to have actual animals. So that might be what is going to happen, Coaster Enthusiast. It might go differently. I won't tell anything. I probably won't tell much about future things, especially for things that won't be built for like the coming months, because our focus will be the other side of the zoo first, and the South American area is going to be behind the ship. Yeah, I mean, I agree that like I don't mind using the birds as birds in trees, but like not for in an exhibit. Yes, there's going to be jaguars. I actually already have 2 black jaguars adopted, so yeah. yeah, like for interiors and for like museum pieces, those are really really cool. And it's not that I'm not gonna use them at all. I certainly will, but yeah, I prefer to use actual animals in my habitats. I have no idea. I still think that this will probably be a bigger DLC, because Shantae did mention that they wanted a strong end of the year, and that they heard the criticism about not enough animals in the packs. So I assume that they're going to do something with that. I can understand that probably the Australian and the South American packs were planned beforehand, and that they had already been working on whatever DLC they're gonna release now. So yeah, I do hope that this DLC offers something other than just a bunch of new animals. Don't get me wrong, for me more animals will always be a good thing, but yeah, we need some new mechanics as well. Like, I've got a list of things that I really want. I want birds, I want aquatic and semi-aquatic animals. I want, and if possible, I really, really, really want nocturnal houses. That would be like if they would have if they could like make a nocturnal house mechanic, that would just be mind blowing. That if they could do that, then I then I will never return to Suikoden 2. But to be honest, I never had the intention to return. I don't think it's going to be a free update. I think it's going to be a DLC. I don't think they will give us animals for free. Any terrain tips? Is there anything specifically? Because I am not the best at using the terrain tool. Mike basically did the entire terrain of the map here. So I can't really take credit for it, nor can I coastlines, those are super difficult. I even struggle with it myself. So I have no tips for that. I'm sorry. Like, the best tip that I can give you is to watch the Garden Rescue by Mike for Jaunty Zoo, because he really talks about how things work and stuff like that. So Mike knows how to do terrain. I don't. Hey there, Drac. Welcome. Didn't know you were that you were. Are you Dutch or Belgian or did you just? Hey, Toves. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here, man. You too, Drac, of course. But like, I'm very happy to see. Oh, you're German. Okay. Oh, cool. Hey, Siri. Welcome. So yeah, Toves, I'm really not doing anything special here. If you were hoping to see like crazy stuff, then I will have to disappoint you. I'm just basically doing stuff that I've been postponing for way too long. Nope. In case you guys are wondering why these are curved in such a weird way, I'm using the technique by... Thanks, Toes. I'm using the technique that Just Goron uses. If you make one of the posts super long and drag it underground, you can have really, really short barriers, much shorter than the max length we have today. But sometimes they do weird curving, so you have to manually fix that. Yeah, there's a bunch of European players in the game. And well, British players as well. Oh my god. Listen to me, you damn... you damn too. Yeah, we do have a bunch of cools. Yeah, that too. We do have a bunch of really cool zoos. Like even Plankendaal, which is a Belgian zoo, which isn't like on the level of Paradisa at all, is a zoo, but it's still a zoo that I really like. I've actually been to Czechia like twice already in my life, but I never visited the zoo over there. Isn't like... Don't they have like a very famous zoo that is currently escaping me? Oh, really? Oh, I really don't like... I mean, it got better, but I really didn't like Antwerpen for a very long time. The Zoo of Antwerp really wasn't my thing. Give me a second. There's a mosquito over here. It's freaking November. There isn't supposed to be any mosquitoes in my room, but here we are. Yeah, I know we can recolor them. Part of it is already recolored and this one isn't. Yeah, no, Antwerp Zoo really wasn't my thing. As I said earlier in the stream, Antwerp did get better a lot recently, but for the longest time they were a zoo that were like really like we are the best, we are the zoo of Belgium. We are like the main zoo, the most important zoo, and yeah. And they didn't innovate as much as other zoos. And that kind of annoyed me. Like, in the meantime, Paradisa and Plankendaal and a bunch of other zoos, like, those really, really improved on what they had in terms of exhibits, while Antwerp was really lacking behind. It was still doing things that were not okay anymore. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Like, historically and from an architecture point, Antwerp is really beautiful. But exhibit-wise, they really weren't doing quite well up until like a year or two ago. Things really weren't looking good, but they've done massive improvements. I must give them that. Hey, Mealy, welcome. But it's also maybe the thing that I'm not the biggest fan anymore of zoos in cities, mainly because of the air pollution that we have in cities. I just don't agree with the idea of having zoos in cities. I have been to a very underwhelming amount of zoos, except for like a bunch in Belgium. I have not been to many zoos, so I have to disappoint you. I haven't been to a single German zoo. I was going to go to the zoo in Munich, but because normally we had a conference over there for my work. But yeah, the conference turned into an online conference, so there was no reason for us to go to Munich. So, yeah. What if there was an indoor zoo? I do think that there are actually indoor zoos somewhere in the world. Yes, Drag, I haven't been in too many zoos, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be more accessible for sure, but from an air quality and for like the health of the animals, zoos in cities are basically an issue, and the zoo community is moving away from that. So people are trying to like the zoo building community are trying to move away from that. I believe that there are actually zoos that have moved even, like from, oh my god, is this really gonna keep happening? Because if it is, I'm so annoyed by this. Yeah, I mean, I would have gone to the Munich Zoo simply because I had a conference in Munich. So it was just being in Munich that would have let me going there. It's not specifically planned to go there. Originally, the conference would have been in London, so I would have gone to the London Zoo, but that didn't go through either because of COVID. So yeah. It was a pretty hectic year. Yeah. Gibbons can be super loud though. So I kind of get it. But it's like, yeah, it's like, okay, you move to a zoo, next to a zoo, but you can't really decide which type of animals will be in the zoo. So I guess that does mean that you're kind of restricted. Okay, I'm kind of bored of working in this area for now, so I'm gonna do something else. But what am I gonna do? Someone escaped. If it's one of those stupid turtles again. I think you would be happy to hear gibbons in the morning until you have to hear them every morning. Okay. Do I really have to, like, search for my animals? Here. Pedro. You're the second one to ask me. I have no idea. I assume it's going to be a marine DLC. Because changes have been made to the water system. So my guess is that it's going to be that. I still don't know, by the way, what is bugging this exhibit. Just from time to time, they're all stuck over here. Yeah, but birds aren't as loud as gibbons, though. I think if you would hear a rooster calling every morning, then I think you would grow really tired of that. So I assume it would be the same for like gibbons. It's fine, my new name. So what they did was there's a update to the traversability regarding water. In back in the day, it was only traversable, like an animal could either go in the water or couldn't go in it at all. And now certain animals can wade in water, like they don't swim in it, but if the water is not that deep, they will just walk around in it. So that was what changed, really. Hey, thank you, Thos. See you next time, man. Yeah, exactly. Like sheep bells, cow bells. I guess you get used to it, used to everything. I guess that's like the case with everything. Yeah, and some of the modders also found something about diving in the game recently. So something's moving when it comes to the water. I don't know what's going to happen specifically, but something's been moving, so yeah, that's it's either, I do hope it's something big. I mean, and I'm not talking about big like the ZWED 2 expansions. I'm not expecting something on that level, but I hope that there's more than what we're having right now. Yeah, I think the same. I think if you're not used to hearing like a sound that you're not, yeah, like that, I guess it gets nerve-wracking. Yeah, I really hope as well. I really hope that we'll be getting something that will be more than what we have right now. So yeah. We'll see, I guess. Nothing is set in stone when it comes to... Nobody really knows what's going to happen, so... We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Okay. Guess I won't be able to select that. Yeah, I do too. I really hope that we'll get something. It doesn't have to be super groundbreaking for me, but anything would be good, because as amazing as the pieces were for like the Australia pack, don't get me wrong, I still think that like the game needs something more at this point. It needs a boost, and you could clearly notice that the Australia DLC didn't give the boost that we expected. And yeah, it just needs something. I can't put my finger on it, and I can't say, and maybe like they have an idea for something, and it's going to be nothing of what we think it's going to be. But I do hope it's going to be substantial. And from what Shantae said to Drac, I assume that they do have something planned that's supposed to be more than what we have right now. But yeah, I just need some new mechanics. And there are a bunch of things that just could like improve the game massively. So I hope they're going to do something with it. But yeah, none of us know. We're just as left in the dark as everyone, so. Oh my god, I hate this. Did it just reset? What the hell? Come on, boy. Turn back. Yeah, much better. Yeah, I never really played Planet Coaster. I mean, I didn't play it before I played Planet Zoo. I've recently started playing it. I still need to adjust to it. And it will never be the game that I'll play full time. That's for sure. Sutakun 2. Planet Zoo will be the game that I play full time. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, I might be helping Mike in the future with things like Nagali and whatever the new Bro Coaster stuff will be. So yeah, I can't really make like informed comments about Coaster because I never really played it. Right. So I'm almost gonna wrap up the stream because I just wanted to like stream for an hour. That was going to be it. So I guess this will be it. But Nix, I did promise you that I would show you some sneak peeks of the Samson house. So we do have a new entrance that I started last time on the last stream. I'm not sure if I'm actually even streaming because this has been loading. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna assume that it is. So I can only say that I got dibs on the bottom floor of the Samson house. Mike is going to take the top floor. So there's going to be a small entrance area over here. We haven't really thought out what we want. And then this is going to be snakes. We have our little crocodiles over here that are probably going to be caimans. And then we'll have frogs over here. And a viewing area for the Komodo dragons, which will be over here. And some more animals over here. And the upper floor is something Mike's gonna do, so I can't really say what it will be, because I don't know yet. And I don't think Mike knows yet, so... in the meantime, we also have this. The logo was made by Ricey. And Estcola is a brand from Thailand, which we really wanted, so... And I also made a 7-Eleven little vending machine cover, because that was one that we found in Thailand as well. And of course the Inthinen coffee, which I really like. I do have the litter bug again. Our park is filled with trash cans, but nobody really uses them. I am also not sure if comments are still coming through in the chat, so if they are and I'm not responding to it, it's because I simply can't see them. So yeah, and I think I will end with this. This will be our information center, and which will be the central hub when you enter the zoo, and will be the place where you plan your entire day at the zoo. So yeah. Alright, I think that was it. I've done everything that I wanted to do. So I'm just gonna save my game here. And I think that will be it. I don't know when the next stream will be. I don't know when the next episode will be. It will be there when it's there. I still have a bunch of things to fix. I still have a bunch of things to do. So I can't really say what I'll do next. So yeah. Thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate you being here. And I'll see you in the next time. Bye.